where the software now builds its own hardware, and that's the notions that we have with biology. People immediately jump to concerns about biological warfare, and I've had recent testimony before a Senate committee and a special committee the U.S. government has set up to review this area. And I think it's important to keep reality in mind versus what happens with people's imaginations. Basically, any virus that's been sequenced today, that genome can be made. And people immediately freak out about things about Ebola or smallpox, but the DNA from those organisms is not infective. So even if somebody made the smallpox genome, that DNA itself would not cause infections.
While it is only a film, Jurassic Park does have an interesting example of how this fail-safe factor does have its sources of error.
You know what this is? It's a dinosaur egg. The dinosaurs are breeding.
But my grandpa said all dinosaurs were girls.
Amphibian DNA.
What's that?
Well, on the tour, the film said they used frog DNA to fill in the gene sequence gaps. They mutated the dinosaur genetic code and blended it with that of frogs. Now, some West African frogs have been known to spontaneously change sex from male to female in a single-sex environment. Malcolm was right. Look. Life found a way.
The real concern that security departments have is designer viruses. And there's only two countries, the US and the former Soviet Union, that had major efforts on trying to create biological warfare agents. And if that research is truly discontinued, there should be a very little activity in the know-how to make designer viruses in the future.
The atmosphere or firmament is full of these same enzymes. But these enzymes are destroyed when they're latched onto by STD. STD's, AIDS right now, it's latching on to everything. It's, it's strengthening the other diseases, but it latches on to all kinds of cells, all kinds of microorganisms, and it destroys them. And it does the same thing in your body. Your body is made up of the same enzymes that are in the earth and in the air and so forth. And when it destroys your immune system, which the atmosphere is, the firmament, it's an immune system to protect you from from getting too much ultraviolet rays. You've got to have so much of it, but you can't get too much of it. It's a well-tuned machine, this firmament is, or the atmosphere, the so-called ozone layer.
Robert Marshall shows us how a new twist with oxygen could make hog farmers and the rest of us breathe a lot easier.
The system is supposed to put ozone into the wastewater, killing odor-causing bacteria.
And if this new system does work as it's proposed, it would not only mean a lot less odor in hog lagoons like this one, it also would mean a lot cleaner water.
Invention. It's a system that uses ozone to take the stink out of the hog manure that drains from these barns and into these ponds.
It's 350 times more powerful than chlorine, and it's 3,000 times faster acting. It'll kill every bacteria that it encounters in the water. It'll destroy all the algae and funguses and mold spores and anything else that's in there.
And that will clear up the water in this pond and make the air here smell more
like a spring day.
First of all, let's talk about what ozone is. A lot of people call it smog, but it is the mixture of car tailpipe emissions, emissions from power plants, emissions from diesel trucks that you see on the highway, and when all of that mixes with sunlight, you get ozone.
As one of Earth's gases, ozone has demonstrated a powerful water purifying capability. In nature, ozone is produced by lightning. The fresh air smell following a storm reveals the presence of nature's master purifier.
Because of overwhelming new medical evidence that ozone is killing not just the frail and the elderly in America, but that ozone is killing healthy people. So faced with that kind of evidence, the EPA is saying it's time to act and it's time to reduce this.
Now, what exactly is a free radical? Well, let's say my crew members here are molecules that make up your body, and their desserts are electrons in their molecular structure. Now, David here has lost an electron, either as a result of metabolism or exposure to toxins. That means he's a free radical. He's an unstable molecular character, desperate to find himself another electron.
The electricity breaks down the oxygen molecule into its component atoms. These liberated single oxygen atoms loosely attach themselves to other stable oxygen molecules, forming the three-atom activated oxygen molecule. The loosely bound third atom actively seeks to join with another oxygen atom to form a stable pair.
Well, David's gotten his stability back, but his neighbor is now is a free radical herself. And the transfer of material may have done some permanent cellular damage. Oh, this chain reaction is what makes free radicals such dastardly villains.
Failing to find a mate, the atom aggressively pursues any material with which it can combine. Bacteria, viruses, algae, cysts, metals, and many other water contaminants are attacked. In combining with the contaminant, the oxygen atom reduces the material to inert debris.
What does ozone do to the human body? I had one public health official tell me today, when you look at ozone, it's like sandpaper inside the human lung.
Well, they're part of the human being now. They're defiled. The human being is defiled, and they're coming down. Their strength is diminishing.
Now, suppose this was going on in your lungs or your DNA. I mean, you might feel fine now, but next year you wake up and you got cancer. Luckily, antioxidants can donate electrons without becoming free radicals themselves. So, the more antioxidants in your body, the better off you're going to be.
Algae and other microbial life forms are eliminated due to its aggressive behavior. Activated oxygen is more than 50% stronger and over 3,000 times faster than chlorine in cleansing water. As an added benefit, any residual activated oxygen soon reverts to the stable two-atom oxygen molecule.
Diseases that we're mixing, that we're making, that we're creating. Our atmosphere, our immune system was not designed, it can't be designed to take care of those things, to fight them. You know why? Because these things are necessary. These bugs and animals, certain animals have these same bugs. And they're necessary for that animal's life, but they're not necessary for man's life. And when we mix them, we mix a creature here together that can go from man to animal, but it carries part of the animal here into our body that we don't need. And our body has no defense against it. The same thing with the immune system of the earth. You have a protective shield that is the immune system around the whole earth. And this same STDs, they don't die when your body dies, but they do get into the air, the soil, the seawater. Yes, we're finding them everywhere now. And if you'll check the atmosphere, you will find they're in the atmosphere. You will also find the kingdoms that make up the kingdoms in your body, that protect your body, you will find them in the atmosphere. AIDS that is flying around in the atmosphere big time right now and increasing every day, it's latching on to these same immune bugs that make up our immune system. It's latching on to them and killing them. And that is the reason that our ozone, so-called ozone layer, is disappearing. I know some are going to think, oh, he's cracked up now. But you start finding, you start searching for it, and I'll guarantee you this is what you're going to find. We've burnt wood and smoke and coal for 6,000 years. It hasn't hurt the protective shield of the earth. This has come in this last generation when sin has increased. The STDs are filling the atmosphere right now. It's filling the ocean.
The moment that got everybody's attention was when the president talked about Iran, nuclear weapons, and the prospect of World War III.
This first war is going to be around the great river Euphrates. And that's exactly what he said. And he said it thousands of years before they started the battle over there, even before Desert Storm took place.